Well, hi, yeah, we just had a bucky or a truck, a half-ton truck that just drove into the middle of the blocked off area here. It was carrying BLF members and there was a scuffle that broke out. Temba's going to bring you those visuals now as people are chasing some of those members down the street. Some of them were carrying, had rocks thrown at them. Some of them were carrying knobkitties, and yeah, that truck that was basically full of BLF members just drove straight into the middle of the grouping here, the Defend Luthuli House grouping, and then the police just struggling to maintain control here as all of a sudden, I think that came absolutely out of nowhere. You just had a hooting, and then all of a sudden everybody jumped off and there was just a massive commotion now. But the police had to very quickly intervene, otherwise people were going to get assaulted.
Michael, we of course know that there are two groupings here.
People's shoes, that as they jumped off that bucky, their shoes, they literally kicked the shoes off their feet. And there's somebody's slip-flops. But the Defend Luthuli House grouping said that they were ready for whoever came this way, and they very quickly intervened there as soon as that bucky arrived. Michelle.
Michael, we know there are these two groupings there, pro and anti-Zuma. Before this, it was pretty quiet outside Luthuli House. Is this the first time we've seen a scuffle like this?
Yeah, it's the very first time that anything has actually happened. Besides that one time we had a BLF member, apologies, that was chased down the road here. It was not the BLF leader. This is the second time now that BLF guys have tried to get close to Luthuli House, and this time it was a massive scuffle, some heated exchanges going on here between the ANC security guards and the police, just trying to make sure that they block the streets off on that side. The road is blocked off on every side around us, except you can drive down here and you can drive up here, which is exactly what that bucky did.
Michael, and the crowd seems to have increased significantly since we started crossing to you earlier this morning.
Well, there were about 40 members from this Defend Luthuli House grouping that were here. But the second that truck drove in here, absolutely everybody from the sidewalk, not just from that grouping, everybody from the sidewalk literally just started attacking those people. So while there may be some that have placards up and have shirts on ANC regalia, the second that truck stopped here, everybody literally just got stuck in.
Yeah,
Here it comes again, Michelle. We're going to bring you those visuals. There is another scuffle happening now there to the left of us, and it looks as if there's another vehicle that's trying to make its way in, but it looks as if the police have blocked that road off, but everybody rushing to the scene there to try and see what's going on.
Michael, just clarify for our viewers, who are the people that are stopping what group from coming to the scene there?
So you have the Defend Luthuli House ANC group, that they are here to defend what they say is a revolutionary house. They're not here to defend Jacob Zuma. They've made that clear. They're actually calling for his recall. They want the ANC to recall President Jacob Zuma, but they're here to defend the ANC as a movement. And they're saying that if the BLF has a problem with who the state president is, they should take that protest to the steps of the union buildings and not here. And they've put out a warning to say they're going to meet them toe-to-toe in the streets, and that's kind of what we're seeing happen here today. I think there was just a small grouping of maybe about 10 BLF members that tried to chance it when they drove in here.
I mean, in your mind, from speaking to police who are on the scene there, in your mind, are they prepared for what might unfold if this is a taste of perhaps things to come if things do escalate?
Yeah, they've got a lot of public order policing units here. They've got the Johannesburg Metro Police Department, and they're assisted by Metro Police, and they've got a whole bunch of ANC security guys here as well. There were a lot of policing vans here, and there was an Inyala that dragged in some barbed wire fencing earlier. Everybody thought, well, as the weather was changing, the mood was changing, nothing was happening, and then all of a sudden you get that spark, and that just ignited everybody again. I see there are members that have picked up sticks and bricks and everything, so I think if the BLF decide to come in here again, there's going to be a fight on their hands.
Michael, let's just replay those visuals for our viewers again, that scuffle that unfolded there on the scene outside Luthuli House just moments ago.
Guys, cross here now, cross here now. Cross here now, guys. Cross. Oh yeah,
all right, our reporter Michael Apple just a little earlier urging our crews to go live to the scene as that scuffle unfolded just outside Luthuli House. Michael, of course, we're all waiting for that all-important National Working Committee meeting, which is scheduled to start, we're told, around 2 o'clock. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Temperatures flaring out here. One imagines what the temperature is going to be like as the National Working Committee meets there after that marathon meeting last night that started early in the evening and went late on into the night to discuss the future of President Jacob Zuma. As we understand it, he's said he's going nowhere, and I think ENC has been playing that clip from 2016. I think it was a Youth League conference in KwaZulu-Natal where he said he is not going to step down. Stepping down would be pandering to white monopoly capital. So I think he's nailed his colors to the mast, and I think what the NWC might say to the NEC is, listen, we need to deal with this internally, and if he's not going to jump, there may need to be a push to unseat him in the National Executive Committee. They don't, I think, as a party, want this going to a 9th motion of no confidence in the leader.
All right, well, thanks very much for that. Our reporter Michael Apple is on the ground there outside Luthuli House. A group has gathered, it says, to protect the revolutionary house that is Luthuli House. It's not allowing members of the Black First, Land First grouping to continue with its protest outside Luthuli House, saying that if it has a problem, it has to go straight to the steps of the union buildings and not to the ANC's headquarters. We'll bring you more on that story from our reporter Michael Apple.